how do I want to start this? This video is totally off the hip. I was just like sitting as I was driving earlier thinking about this. It's usually how I come up with like video ideas. They just come to me, but nothing planned here. Just gonna kind of go for it. But freedom, the idea of freedom, I think for a lot of people is like the fundamental thing of our lives, the most important thing, and especially here in the United States, for so many people, individual freedom, many people see as like the most important fundamental part of our lives. But what freedom means, I think for a lot of people, even if you don't realize it, is control. I think that for many of us, and I know for myself as I was thinking about this today, our idea of what it means to be free is to be in control, to like be free to have my own things like private property, and to be in control of those things, to be free to make my own schedule and to be in control of my own schedule, and to have all of my life the freedom to do things and have things and say things essentially comes down to like I am in control and can have control of the things that I own and the things that I do and the things that I say. And I was thinking today about, and I've really been thinking about this, particularly in the life of faith, and the idea of submitting ourselves to God, and what does it mean in the context of a life of faith in our relationship with God to be free. And the reality that we ought to understand about our life with God is that freedom comes in surrender. Freedom comes not in having everything within our control, but freedom comes in like full submission to God. And I think it's much easier said than done. And it's something that like we can say and be like, I'm going to feel free once I've let go of things and just given things to God. But I think on another hand, that's also like, how does that make us feel good? Like, how could we feel good within that situation? How do we feel this idealness of freedom within the context of like, I have no control over anything? And what came into my head today as I was driving was like childlike faith. What we talk about and like having faith like a child, and what does that really mean? When we're kids, like we don't have control over anything, and when we're like really young, it doesn't matter really for the most part, because like you're carefree and the whole world is yours and everything is exciting and you want to experience everything, but it doesn't matter because like you can leave a lot of the control to your parents, and there is this freedom in when you're a child knowing that mom and dad have it under control, or the adults can take care of this stuff, and we can just like be free to be kids. And in the life of faith, it really in our lives of like where true freedom comes is that childlike faith and relationship with God the Father, where we can say, it's okay because my Father has it under control. And I don't need to grasp onto everything, and I don't need to be in control of every aspect of my life. And giving that up, and giving up that need to have everything within our grasp and everything to be within our control, and to surrender that to God, and to have that childlike faith and that trust of knowing that God has a good plan for me, and that by giving that up, there's this freedom of like we can be kids, and we can be true children of God. And I think that's powerful, and I think that's something meaningful to me, and maybe the message for you today, if you need to hear that, of like we so often, and I'm such like a controlling person in so many ways in my life, and I need to feel like everything's planned and controlled and in my understanding, but the true freedom comes not in that obsessive controlling of things, but in the surrender of being a kid and understanding that the Father has things in control, and that we can just be as sons and daughters and as kids within the loving providence of God.